Hi guys, welcome back. So in today's video we're going to be upgrading this G80 M3. So you might recognize it already because it's the R44 Performance G80 M3. So they've already done a lot of upgrades already on this car, but today we're going to be upgrading it with the CSF 3-piece cooling kit for the G80 M3. So we've already installed one on Absolute Motors car who came across all the way from the Netherlands, and it includes the CSF level up charge cooler manifold, the front mount heat exchanger and the transmission cooler. So what we need to do, obviously do the full install, we need to remove all the factory parts and fit the upgraded parts. So let's get the car in the workshop, start removing the factory parts and then talk you through each part as we install them. So I hope you enjoy this video and let us know if you've got any questions. Okay, so we've got the factory charge cooler removed from the M3 and we've got the CSF charge cooler in front of us as well. Obviously this one has been finished in a custom Miami blue colour as opposed to having the standard raw billet aluminium, and CSF can colour match them in pretty much any kind of colour, any kind of finish that you want. So talking about the benefits of the CSF manifold versus the standard manifold, one of the big ones that we're seeing at the moment, especially with cars that are tuned beyond standard, so stage 2 or with big turbos, is that the factory manifold can actually fail. So the factory manifold can fail in one major way, and it's that the factory core is crimped onto the plastic end tanks. And what can happen over time, especially with elevated boost levels, more heat, things like that, is that this plastic part can essentially explode off. So then what that means is obviously it's open to air, and obviously you can have water leak issues as well with the water going inside the engine, which is obviously something you don't really want. So as well as performance wise, it's reliability. And then talking about the fun stuff, which is obviously performance wise, CSF charge cooler, one of the main benefits is it has much higher cooling capacity than the standard intercooler. So again, what happens is once you elevate the boost levels, the factory charge cooler, which was once adequate for the standard boost pressure, is no longer adequate and you have a bit of a performance loss. So with the CSF charge cooler, you'll be able to maximize the power from the hardware that you have fitted from the car, especially if you're running big turbos. As well as that, there's a few other things that the kit come with. So it comes with this Kylex inlet manifold gasket / spacer. So what this does is it isolates the heat from the head away from the heat on the charge cooler, or rather separates the heat from the head from the charge cooler. So it means that less heat transfer to the charge cooler. So that helps with the charge cooler staying cool. As well as that, there's a lot of extra ports as well. So talking about the fueling, nitrous and water meth, which is added to this, CSF charge cooler comes with a fuel rail, which has also been custom coloured in a Miami blue, and then has ports for nitrous and your water meth. Other things that might be useful for people as well is that we've got a vacuum pad on here, which you've got up to 3 different options that you can use for obviously the different vacuum sources that you might want to run, an extensive fitting kit as well. So all that's left to do is get this fitted to the G80, and then we'll jump onto the transmission cooler and heat exchanger and talk you through those. Okay, so we've got the factory heat exchanger and the factory transmission cooler removed, and obviously we've got the CSF parts here in front of us. So earlier on we fitted the charge cooler, so that extracts the heat from the compressed air and then puts it through into the water system, and that water goes into this heat exchanger. So this heat exchanger's job is to exchange that heat that's in the water with the ambient air. So the more efficient that you can make this, the cooler the water that's then going to the charge cooler to cool the air will be. And that's why it's important to upgrade this. So the CSF item which we've got here in front of us is a completely all aluminium radiator. So just like the charge cooler, it's got a common failure point around the crimped on ends here. So obviously the CSF cooler won't fail in the same way. The other benefit of the CSF cooler is that it's much thicker and also has a much more efficient core as well. And CSF uses what's called a B tube core rather than a conventional O tube, which has about 15% more efficiency than an O tube, and also has less weight comparatively because you can use less material to achieve the same strength. As well as that, we've got more reliability on the front because we've got a rock guard. So people that are installing the grills where there's less protection, this is very, very important. So this, again, will go working hand in hand with the charge cooler to keep the charge temps cool. And then we've also got the transmission cooler. So you've got the factory transmission cooler here, and we've got the CSF one here. And what you probably can't see immediately is it's double as thick because it's actually got 2 cores working in conjunction to improve the cooling of the transmission cooler. So as well as having essentially 2 coolers integrated into one, it's 2 rows taller, so it has 2 extra tubes on both of the cores. So it has 18 rows on the front, 18 rows on the back, as opposed to just having one 16 row core. And that has a surface area increase of well above 100%, and also adds transmission fluid capacity of around 800 millilitres, which is obviously quite considerable. So what this will do is help the transmission to operate in its optimal condition temperature-wise for more of the time. So for example, if you're using the car on track use, a hot day, or even obviously increase the power considerably from standard, like the guys at R44 are intending to do, that's going to put a lot more heat through the transmission, and this is going to work to keep that heat down so the transmission can continue to work as it's intended. So yeah, that's everything you need to know essentially about these 2 bits. Let's get them fitted to the car. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then please give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch other videos of ours that YouTube thinks you'll like, then click up here. If you'd like to watch some other videos that we have in the same playlist, then click here. And obviously, if you enjoyed the video, then we really appreciate if you gave us a subscription. And then obviously you'll be updated when other videos of ours go live, and you can do that quite easily by clicking here. Hope to see you soon.